Hey, what's up? It's your boy DJ L7. Today I have a very special guest. Now, KRTD Media is something that I've been tracking ever since Solution Summit. And there actually is some crossover with my actual other work that I've done, such as someone named Falcone General. So this guy, Shane, pretty cool. I've been trying to really lay the land out, trying to understand what's going on here. And we're about to get some questions answered. So there's a lot of people out there, management and stuff like that. When Ed comes calling, they be ducking. But Shane showing up, and I think he deserves a lot of credit just on that, just alone, right? And maybe because he's idealistic, maybe because he's younger, right? Less cautious, or just some people, old people are also making these moves. So props out to you, man. But this is a rare thing, right? I hope it's something that you continue to do throughout your career. I think it's a bold move early on, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
So Shane, this is a little bit different from usual. You are actually the former president of KRTD Media, correct?
Yes.
What is KRTD Media like?
So, before we start, I just want to give props to you. I've been following your work as well, and I noticed you did. No, we both live in New York City.
That's true.
And you did that independent candidates thing, and that was great. So I just want to give props to you before we start.
Cool, appreciate that. Did
So
you follow
what
it
is
at the
KRTD?
time, or did you find out about it later?
At the time, yeah.
Oh, you knew about it.
I
Okay.
found it around the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So KRTD Media was never what it was in the beginning as much as it is what it is now. What I mean by that is a friend of mine and I had an idea for a YouTube channel and an independent type show. It was only meant to be a podcast in the beginning.
Can I ask which friend this is? I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine, but I just curious.
I'm not going to name his name because he's not listed on the site and he's in and out with KRTD these days, but
okay.
And he was never on camera.
Interesting. Okay.
He was the producer of the show. So he would go on, as you see, most of our earlier shows were done on Zoom. I don't know if you noticed that when you were looking. So, in our very early days, I would do interviews on Zoom. He would go on to OBS and he would stream them, or I'd record them on Zoom and we'd upload them.
Okay.
And he and I came up with the idea to start. Which is really weird. Progressive at the time, Bernie Pratt, and him, a conservative Trumper, starting a podcast that's dealing with lefty stuff together was kind of weird. But he's like, I'm more interested in the independent viewpoint, so I'll broadcast you and I'll do whatever. And we were able to form a group together. We called the podcast Kerberos Roundtable Discussions. And you'll see, derived from that name, we got KRTD Media later.
Okay. So is KRTD Media, did you guys ever make that into a business or anything, or is it kind of like an unofficial thing, or?
It's a non-profit.
Okay, cool. So did you guys go and put that all in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. All right. Well, respect, man. Cool. All right.
Yeah, so the story goes like this. We started the Kerberos Roundtable Discussions podcast. I was bold. A lot of podcast hosts are not so bold. I would talk to whoever I wanted to talk to. People like, you can't contact this person. You can't contact that person. Don't tell me who to contact. I'll contact whoever I want, and I'll see who will come on my show. Let them tell me no. Don't you tell me no. Before I even asked, was my mentality. And so I began to do that. I got some bigger guests than I should have been able to get at 25, 30 subscribers because I was willing to ask. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's something I've learned.
I like that. All right. Cool, man. Keep it up.
Yeah. So slowly, I'm starting to do this podcast. The turning point, I had asked, no, you're not a big fan of hers, but I did ask Steph Semirano to co-host a presidential debate with me. I'm not sure if you saw that video on the channel. There's a third-party debate. So we got 4 of the third-party candidates a week before the election, and we let them do an independent debate with questions.
Okay.
And all the third-party candidates were extremely respectful, unlike real presidential debate. believe it or not. So we did that debate, and after that debate, there was a turning in KRTD. I had realized that I have built up a contact list myself through my effort of about 200 people across the country, different political contacts, mostly third-party folks, some independent media folks, and I had built up this list through contacting them and having interviews with them on my podcast. Because at the time I was doing 5 or 6 interviews a week, way too many. Anyway, I put this contact list into a spreadsheet. I contacted another friend, not going to name him because he doesn't like to be named on anything, and I contacted him, and I contacted some people I had worked with on a previous project, and this is before we're registered. We have a meeting, maybe about 20 of us, and we decide, this is a different 20 people, by the way, from the people you see on the website. So just be aware that there was a different group at one point. And we have a meeting, and we decide Kerberos Roundtable Discussions is not the name for a network. Kerberos Roundtable Discussions might be the name for a podcast, but you can't call a network that. And we're like, what are we going to call the network? And what are we going to do so YouTube doesn't kill us when we change the name of the YouTube channel? Because YouTube, I'm sure you know from working with it, does not like when you change the name. So we're like, we'll call it KRTD Media for sure. We form a structure. We form a board, a leadership group. This is well before we're registered. We form a leadership group. We form departments, media department, or rather at the time, production department, communications, PR.
Okay, wait, I just got a couple questions before. Can I ask? Yeah?
Yep.
Sorry, I just want to, before we get too far. So the thing is that before Steph Zambrano comes in the picture, you're already working with some people like Falcone General. I think there's some other lady that I saw working on your channel, stuff like that, right? It already seems like you had this idea of some type of like different YouTubers getting together, networking together. Well, you know what I mean? And it seems like this is kind of like stepped up with now, right? With after Steph Zambrano, right, meets you guys, then all of a sudden you guys have more, but it's not like you guys weren't really kind of like doing that before.
Well, not exactly.
Okay, so
before
thank you. Okay.
I was the only podcast.
Okay.
Slowly after, I asked Falcone to join us.
Okay.
I also asked the Englishist. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Englishist.
That's probably the girl that I'm talking about?
No, the Englishist. It's they're one of Falcone's, another YouTuber. I asked these 2 YouTubers to join us, and we created podcasts for them rather than streaming their own channels, stuff to us. We're like, let's create them original podcasts on the network. So for Falcone, we created the International Workers Movement podcast, and I used my contacts to get them a lot of decent interviews.
Okay. So this is before, right, Steph? This is you already, right, branching out with other producers, kind of like building a network.
This is before the presidential. No, this is after I did a presidential debate with Steph.
Oh, okay. So after that, right, then so you had already grown, and it's not her idea, but I just want to get the timeline straight. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, because I was looking at that 7 months ago or whatever when all of a sudden the graphics leapt up. Maybe that's when Jamie joined. But
no. So Jimmy only joined 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
She's relatively new to. She's great. But
so who pumped up your graphics? Like all of a sudden those graphics, like on KRTD Media, like did you go on Fiverr or something, or like did you invest, or how come all of a sudden the graphics like leaped up at that time?
So we went on Fiverr, actually, believe it or not.
I believe it. Yeah, I do it too. I do it too. Yeah. Okay.
So at that time, we didn't have any real graphics artists. We had that purple KRTD logo thing, but
you
wasn't cutting it for a professional network. So we went on Fiverr. We got a whole set made, which is the same set we used for the Solution Summit and started. So we had that set made for the purpose of the Solution Summit because we wanted to look all professional when we had all these guests on. We didn't want to look like shit.
Well, you did. You succeeded. You succeeded, right? I was like, what is this? You know what I mean? So yeah, it definitely looked like there was some investment made. That's good to know, and it makes sense. You know what I mean? I respect that move. Okay, cool. All right. So all right.
A decision was made after the summit to use those graphics for everything. We couldn't afford to buy more graphics. We don't have a budget. Everything was coming out of pocket for me.
So how is KRTD Media run? Like, how are decisions made at this?
Decisions
Is it
in
democratic,
KRTD media.
or are there votes, or how does it go down?
Decisions in KRTD media are made by the leadership group. The leadership group consists of myself and a number of other individuals who have directorship titles within the organization. If you have a directorship title
Okay.
that either runs a department, or you have or like myself as the operations director, I run, you go into all the departments, you do all the stuff. If you have a directorship title, you are part of the leadership group of the KRTD media team.
Okay,
And
so
those are the people who make the decisions.
if I'm looking at KRTD Media as an outsider, right, I would say that KRTD Media is doing fantastically well. Just, I mean, honestly, right? Like, you got, right? Well, the thing is with the viewers, right? That, I mean, that's a struggle, but the thing is still, right? The quality of production has grown, right? Your partnerships have grown, right? There's definitely some exciting stuff coming down right now. Why would you walk away from the? Why would you walk? I mean, if there's like, isn't this? I would be hands in and lean in super hard. Like, yeah, like it just seems super weird. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, if you was messing up,
Yes, I do.
I would understand you wanted to run away. But this is like what you worked for in the most exciting time, and then you walk. Like, what is that?
So I'm going to give you a simple answer. The executive directorship of KRTD Media is a termed position. You only have it for a certain amount of time. The operations director is a staff position. I could have that position indefinitely, be essentially second in command, but you can't have the executive directorship forever. It's a termed position. So I walked away from that position to take a position that does not have a term limit.
How long is the term?
The executive directorship term is 2 years. I only served in it for about a year and a half.
Is it like concurrent, or like can they take a break and then come back, or how's that work?
It's concurrent. You have to be instated again by the board, but it's concurrent.
So you could like take 2 years and then take a break and then come back later on.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right. So thanks for clearing that up, right? I had no idea, right? Mm-hmm. I had no idea this was a thing. All right. Good to know.
Exactly. The operations directorship is not term limit. It's not terms. The operations directorship is a staff role, so I don't have a term anymore.
Remember, I also had that question about like the current operations director, Joe Campbell, whatever his name is, right? Something like that.
Joe Evans.
I'm sorry, Joe Evans. Yeah, I'm bad with names. So you could tell. Evans. Yeah. So Joe, right? Why is he like bumped out? Like, was he the least productive member? I mean, like, maybe you don't want to say that, but like, what? So like, this is like what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get where operations makes the most sense.
So Joe Evans does great work. Okay. He's a host as well. He does a show called Cup of Joe, which I love. He also hosts the news with me every Friday, which I also love. Every last Friday of the month. He no longer had the bandwidth to deal with that role, so we moved him over to the role known as Inspector General, to do internal investigations in the company whenever something goes wrong, because that role is only required to activate when an investigation is needed. We gave him an executive role, but a different type of executive role. So we did not, by any means, throw Joe Evans out of KRTD.
That's good to know. You know, I mean, that's good to know, because there's all these questions when I watched your program about the changeover.
The site will be updated.
Okay. So the new director, her name is what? Jamie? What's her name again?
Jimmy Sunderland.
Jimmy. I'm so bad with names. I'm just gonna stop trying to say names. Okay, Jimmy. Right? There's so many new names to pick up. Right? Yeah. So actually, I see some of her stuff. Sometimes she does have intelligent ideas. I think it's cool. Now, what made her such a like? What made her so quick to rise up all of a sudden? And how did she end up becoming the choice right there?
So Jimmy Sunderland was the choice. One, we wanted to do a female director. We had that idea.
How did she also how did she start with you guys? How did she find out about you guys? How did she? Yeah. She just came in and one day and said, "I want to work with KRTD Media," all of a sudden out the blue.
Not exactly. So our recruitment director, she found Jimmy. They'd worked together in a previous organization, and Jimmy was not currently with that previous organization.
Who's this recruitment director?
Her name is Lana. She's not on the site as of now. We were not finished updating the site.
Okay, so you have more people than 21. Damn. Oh, quick question too, just about another related person, right? Shout out to Reef for a second, right? Yeah. whatever. I know Reef might have some things, whatever, but I don't mind. Yeah. So you have like a relationship with Reef, and he actually has also a pretty cool program. I'm hoping to bring him on the show soon. He has some type of like bring all the YouTubers together, right? There's actually several programs out there like this, but he's doing a lot of groundwork on it, and I do think that he works with you in some way. Once again, he doesn't have an official role. It seems like he would qualify. So what's going on with Reef?
So Reef was previously with KRTD Media as our advisory director. He was the director of our advisory board, and he stepped up to the plate when our producer resigned, and he took that role for a long time.
Y'all been through mad shit in 1 year. Holy fuck. Holy shit. Y'all go through this. What the fuck happened over here? Okay, keep going. This is a lot of shit, bro. All right, keep going.
He took the role of producer when our producer resigned, so he was doing 2 jobs at KRTD for the longest time. He did a lot of work for the summit as well, and eventually he decided to leave KRTD. It was mutual. He agreed.
Where did Reef come from? Did he also come from recruitment?
No, I think I found him in the Jimmy Dore Discord server because he owns it.
Where'd you find your recruitment person, or how did you select your recruitment person?
The recruitment person was a friend of Joe Firestone. We recruit a lot of audience members, actually, believe it or not. Audience members who want to get involved. She was an audience member of Joe Firestone for a long time, and we recruited her to be the recruitment director.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, listen, she wasn't originally the recruitment director.
That's all good.
She brought us 11 people, and then she earned that role.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty good. Interesting. Okay. So, wow. Okay. That's cool. It's just a lot to digest right there. I'm picking up new information and putting it all together, right? So that's good to know. I do like Reef. Now, there's another person that I like that also has some kind of like questions in the air about what's going on. Camila Harris, right? She's actually someone who works with UPA, United People's Assembly. There are claims that Steph Zambrano, right, was asked her to be gotten rid of. And this is actually like a big part of my claim as well, right? That Steph and Jimmy are exerting their influence to get rid of other people in the industry. So what happened with Camila Harris?
So what I will say,
right,
is that Steph Zambrano did not get rid of Camila Harris. Steph Zambrano is not a member of KRTD. She is a friend of the network, but she has no influence over any of the directors in KRTD Media.
Did she ever request it in any way?
No.
Okay, good to know.
She never requested it. The KRTD Media board made a decision based on what went down while Camila Harris was there. I don't feel it's right for me to discuss what she did here. I don't want to give her a bad
fair,
rap.
But you're definitely saying that Steph Zambrano and Jimmy Dore, and there's nothing to do with that. You're 100% certain. There's no connection whatsoever.
Steph Zambrano and Jimmy Dore do not run KRTD Media. At the time, it was myself and the current board.
Okay.
That's where the decision was made.
I respect your answer, yeah. It's Camila's also decision in this too about how it comes out. So I respect your thing there. You know what I mean? But in the end, I really want to know what happened. You know what I mean? So this is a point of concern and examination for me. This particular issue. You know what I mean? Makes sense, right? Yeah, because
the only thing I'll say is she acted unprofessionally in her role at KRTD Media as PR director, and the board took actions to remove her for those.
I don't know what happened there, man. I'm still investigating, yeah? But I need to find out, yeah? I only know what I hear, but that's why I need to talk, all right? I could say things, but I need to get more information. You know what I mean? How much information do I get right here? Some. Anyways, let's move on, yeah? So the thing is that this new person, Miss Sunderland, right? Yeah. What did she do? How long has she been with you guys?
About 3 months.
And what did she do to all of a sudden, right, like be put like into? And she's not very visible. She does some shows, but it's not like she's doing like, you know, she's in a couple one with Joe Firestone. And what else is she doing? Like, how did that happen?
So Jimmy works behind the scenes for the most part,
Yeah.
and this is how she earned her role as executive director. She was, if you look at the site, it still lists her as the deputy executive director. So
Okay.
the deputy executive director is the deputy director to the executive director. She was my deputy essentially. So she was working with me. Within 2 weeks, she became the deputy executive director, and there was a reason for that.
But what about the
She
vice
has worked
president? Isn't it usually
the
the vice?
vice.
Doesn't the vice president usually secede? Like it just seems a little bit like you
We
guys.
had
Yeah.
removed the vice president's role. That vice president is currently the communications director.
See, okay, I was going off of what's on the website, so I thought there was still a vice president. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things. I'm not mad at that, right? There's a lot of, as the organization is founding, right? Actually, I think that's a strength, by the way, right? And I like some of the moves that you make just as a young entrepreneur, right? I know I'm keeps harping on the young, but you're making some moves here that are kind of cool, right? Instead of forcing people to be in a role that they may be unhappy in or unsuccessful in, you're ready to work with them and find a way to make it work, and that's actually pretty pro. That's pretty pro, man. So I give respect to you on that, and I'm not mad that the website didn't get updated because honestly, right, it's not really. It's only crucial for people, a very small subsect of people that are looking like me, right? Yeah, that are asking questions.
Well,
A very
we'll
small
update it,
minority.
but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Okay, so she advanced to deputy, executive thing, and right under you. She did mention that in the event as well, and so what was right once again things are like kind of blasting, like getting big here, and you
She
decide
has a lot of
your term was up.
experience.
Okay.
She has a lot of experience. She's
Okay.
ran a nonprofit organization before. She's worked for a number of independent media companies.
What type of not for profit was it? Like in
I
governance
believe
or
it was.
public housing or something? Or?
She ran an organization called in San Bernardino called Indivisibles. Um, before, and
That's pretty
they were
cool.
going after local politicians and different things like that, to get
Yeah.
them to be held accountable.
I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, that's cool. All right.
So she has experience running a nonprofit. She's worked for 6 other independent media companies, I believe. She has an impressive resume, and that's one of the reasons we picked her.
So what is she? What is she planning on doing, and how has she impacted the company already, and what are her? Is something gonna happen? KRTD, what's going on? Yeah.
Well, it's only been a couple of days since she's taken office,
I
so
get
a
that.
lot of her changes are going to be slow. I'm still helping her learn the role because she's just gotten it. So I'm kind of guiding her and assisting her in learning that role. But she's really taken charge, and she's been doing a great job. But no major changes have been made yet. The only change that has been made is that we're going to be launching a youth program at KRTD Media where we are going to be training the youth in how to do video editing, graphic design, web development, editing, and a number of other different skills. That hasn't launched yet. Actually, you're going to break that on your show because no one said that on any other show.
You guys gonna get grant money? There's grant money available
Well,
actually for programs like that. You guys can actually even and you guys can even pay people like me. Yeah. What? Hey man, that's cool, man. I like that. You know what I mean? That's Hey, if she really makes that happen, that'd be kind of fucking dope. So we'll see where that goes. It sounds like she has the background experience to make something like that happen. And okay, that's interesting. So, now the thing is that I'm not sure how much of a friend Camila is, but I like to look out for people. Is there any chance that Camila could come back to KRTD Media?
That would be a decision that would have to be made by the full leadership group. I do not have the authority, nor did I, as the executive director, to make a decision like that on my own.
I hope whatever it is, I hope y'all work it out. Maybe it's a separate path, maybe it's together. I hope it's together, but if it's not, I understand. But I just want to make sure that Camila knows that I didn't just say, "Oh, okay," and put you down. You know what I mean? I'm still like working for you in a way, right? That to get us all to a place where we can work together and move forward and keep that open as an option. You know what I mean? So And that's something I like about Shane. When he first bumped into me, people know I could be super rough and tough, you know what I mean? And definitely was with Shane, but he kept being insistent, and he pushed for inclusion, even when everybody else around him was saying exclusion. And that's fucking dope, Shane. I appreciate that, man, right? Either whatever organization you in, please keep that about you, man. That's amazing, you know what I mean? That gives me faith that, because a lot of people who are struggling with different things, disabilities, sometimes they're not as coherent or they're not as eloquent as others, and I got to make sure that they're taken care of. Sometimes people are going through difficult times and they're just stressed out and they can't be smooth with it, but you know, someone like a good manager like should be patient and wait around. That's one of the reasons why I was so sad to see you leave, right? I was like, this guy has some promise, it seems good, why is he cutting his career short? You know what I mean? Like, shit, there's like exciting shit's about to go down. He's gonna learn so much by being at the helm. Why would he pass that up? You know what I mean? So it seemed weird to me. You know what I mean? I would lean in. You know what I mean? And shit, bro. You know what I mean? Fuck, it's time to rock and roll. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you still Operation Man. I still think maybe that way was for the best. You know what I mean? I could see that being right. You're still day-to-day operations. You know what I mean? You don't need a title. You know what I mean? I get that too. So that comes from being a doer. So the answer to the question is pretty fucking good, bro. Pretty fucking good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had a lot of questions, man. Yeah. So what's all right, cool, man. I got to do a lot of thinking on that, but okay. I do have. Okay, so what about real progressives? What is the deal with that? Like, you guys talk about modern monetary theory, modern monetary donuts, stuff like that, right? And in this field, the dude who's fucking, as I know, pushing it is Steve Grumbine, right? He just made a petition that he's in a lot of. I cross a lot of worlds, right? That a lot of other people don't cross into, and I've seen Grumbine in a bunch of these spaces. He's got a strong army and a team. You know what I'm talking about, right? How many people's in part of his media group? 10, 15 maybe? He got like full-time volunteers also producing content, right, individually under his name, right? Yeah. So what's the deal between KRTD and is there any connection, or is there any, you guys going to be doing content soon together? Not? What's up?
A number of our volunteers were previous volunteers at Real Progressives. That's pretty well known. If you look through their channel, you'll find Joe Firestone videos on there from from 2017.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
They're over here now, a lot of them, and whatever happened there, but they're over here now. And I've been learning modern monetary theory. I find it very interesting, very fascinating. Real Progressives does their content on it, but we're also entitled to do content on it. You cannot own an economic process. You cannot own that. Anyone can do content on that who would like to do content on that.
That's cool, bro. All right, man. That's good to know. So I wasn't really sure exactly where that stood. I mean, that does kind of align with all the other information that I have. So, you know, just it's good to know. You know what I mean? Could be other moves going on, but you know, things are making sense from this perspective. So that's a good sign, bro. Any questions you have for me, man? I've been asking so many questions of you. What can I say for you? Anything?
So you know what? I'm just gonna ask you, what got you started in this field? Because you said you've been here for a while.
Okay.
I think I found you about last year.
Well, okay, so like the activism and stuff like that. So you're from New York City. There's a lot of Asian Americans here, but I grew up in the country. Some of my friends went cow tipping, so I was always very excluded. And in those excluded places, I found other people that were excluded, and my suffering was, you know, that kind of sucked. But seeing other people go through it as well, that really activated in many ways. Also, I ran away from home at the age of 16, and I lived on the streets. So I found all the people on the bottom, and I've been poor and I've been rich. You know what I mean? So I've been in charge of stuff too. So I talk about being homeless, but I've also run companies, stuff like that. So when I give you the props on the things that you're doing honestly, I'm a fan, bro, of the things you're doing and your outlook and your hustle and your go-to it. So that's pretty fucking cool, man. So I'll be watching you, honestly, right? I see, you're gonna. I just did a interview with Jay Renee. She said you're gonna make space, right, for yourself. You're gonna make the space. So that's what you need to do to make it in this game. So so what got me started, right, was seeing all those people getting shit on. And like, I've been in the medical system. Actually, I made a comment on one of the videos, right, where I think the Red Berets are talking with Dr. Jarvis or something, and I'm like, you know, you cannot just reform the system with doctors and administrators. You need to talk to people who have been victims of the system. They know really how the system can screw somebody, and their perspective is valuable and needed. So I'm not here to tear them down. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, do they have a doctor on? Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, does he have insight? Yeah. Like, you know, do they deserve props for that? Yeah. Did I say that? Probably not, right? But I can give credit for that. But I'm here to make sure that our voices as the underrepresented remain a part of the system. So that's why you'll hear about me going crazy in DC and all these other things, right? Because when they line up the celebs and the people with the titles and the people with all the following and stuff like that, the elites, right? They leave us in the dirt, man. So that's why I do what I do. So I've been working that my whole life, yeah, to serve for the underserved.
Lots of respect for what you do.
Thanks, man. What about you, bro?
I just saw everybody broadcasting myself, and I'm like, I can do that too. Shit.
What about your entrepreneurial spirit, though? Like, why, like, other people, like, aren't doing things? Why are you willing to do shit that other people say, oh, you just have 25 fucking subs, like, you know, don't even bother, like, you know, you gotta start, they're telling you how to do this shit. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
I've been doing this for a number of years. I'm only 21. When I was 16, I started my first business. I was doing web development. I taught myself how to code. I did web development. I got contracts. And I was 16, 17, 18. I had a couple of partners who worked with me, you know, and people are like, oh, no, you can't do that. You're 16. Yeah, okay. Tell that to the check I just got.
Yo, part of what I do, also giving people a hard time, is to see if they can overcome adversity. And you fucking succeeded, bro. You know what I mean? Yo, fucking congratulations, man, for real. So I could tell, like, the fact that you've owned businesses before, right? Like, shit would come up, and you wouldn't just throw it up in the air and fucking, you just find a way to make it work. And that probably came from owning your own businesses. And if you didn't do that shit, the business would fail, right? So you had to keep it fucking going. So I definitely developed a lot of those instincts from those exact same situations. So respect, I see that. That changed who you are as a person. And you got that lesson really early. That's fucking cool as shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Hey, man, I'll be watching you, man. You see me watching.
I'll be watching you too.
Thanks, man. All right, buddy. So, you answer my questions for now. I may have more later, but I'm sure we'll be. By the way, this guy has a Discord. How else can people get in contact with your KRTD Media? As you know, is on YouTube. You guys going on other stuff too?
Yeah, we stream to Facebook, to Twitter, to Twitch.
Oh, Facebook's good, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get in contact with me,
Oh, quick note right now, Restream, not Restream, I mean, Rumble, monetizing me now. So fuck it, get paid now. You don't gotta wait till 1,000, just get paid now, fuck it, you know what I mean? Boom. Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to contact me, just find my Facebook page. It's not that hard to find. My phone number is on my Facebook page.
Shane Coughlin, right? Shane Coughlin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, find me wherever. And I'm not that hard to get in touch with. I have open DMs on everything. I'm on Discord. My phone number is public. I'm not hard to get in touch with, and I did that on purpose. A lot of these people who do this, they will isolate themselves, and they will make it almost impossible for you to get in touch with them. I did not want to be one of those people.
Okay. Maybe things are slow, right? I know you said that, like, you know, change is going to be slow to come. But the thing is that sometimes slow can be a big payoff if something's been working on for a while. You've been doing this for a while, right? You've just kind of like relieved yourself of the directorship, so some of the responsibility is off your shoulders now, right? What are the plans for the future? You got any cool projects coming up? Anything that we should be watching for? Any cool shows? What are the next shows coming up for you? You doing any shows? What's up?
Am I doing any shows? I may get back to doing my own podcast again. I may revive my own podcast. I may want to. It's been so long building other people's shows. I kind of miss doing a show of my own that's not the news or not just a traditional interview show that I share with other people. I really miss doing my own show, honestly.
Okay.
So
that's
I'm
probably going to happen, or what do you think? Like, what do
Oh
you know?
yeah,
What
that's
do you know
gonna
for sure that's going to happen? You're
I'm
gonna.
definitely gonna do my own show.
Hell yeah! All right, good, good. All right, cool, excellent.
Um,
How old are you
it'll
again?
take some time. I'm 21.
So, are you still in college?
I never went to college. I did this instead.
Okay, that's a plus and a minus, man. It's a tough place to be
It
in,
is.
because when you rely on it for you to pay your paycheck, can lead some decisions. But I can give you some diversity there. There's other ways to make this work where you don't have to. You can shore yourself up to be less reliant on donors or hype.
I don't make any
bullshit,
money. KRTD makes $0. We pull in a Patreon, which covers our expenses, and we make like $30 a month. I have to do side jobs and shit to make.
It's probably not even worth the time that you got to do the fucking the accounting for the business, like, right? The amount that you're getting paid is like wouldn't even be worth the time you spend in accounting for that shit. Yeah. Hey man, it is what it is, man. We do shit because we love this shit, man. So respect to you. Now, just a couple more questions before I go. Right now, the thing is that
Sure.
I give you props already, right? Yeah, for the way that you're running your business, and you know I won't do that like super easy. So, what do you think are some of the most effective things people could do if they wanted to, maybe do with the things that KRT Media doing?
So,
yeah,
are you saying if someone wants to start a show or a podcast, or are you saying
could be
someone wants to start a
could be a
network?
business or a network or. So the thing is that when I look at you, right, myself, for me, right, the people who are watching, they'll have their own reasons for being a fan of yours or the network or whatever. But for me, what makes you particularly interesting is, like, I do like your interviews, right? I like your selection, but the network concept of bringing something larger than yourself. Because remember, you could be all you could be, right? A man could build a home, but a team could build a skyscraper. You can exceed your own maximum potential, right? They say be all you could be, but you can be more than you can be by having a team assist you and build something, epic. You know what I mean? So. It's just where in terms of KRT Media, I think that people would say how was Shane, right, able to build, right, from everybody else looked like they're YouTubers, right? They were doing the 50, 100. They started out getting their interviews. They got what they could, and then all of a sudden they brought in some higher known people. They started upping the quality of their stuff.
So
For
here's
me,
what you got to do.
Yeah, that's the attraction. Yeah.
If you want to do that, do not let anyone tell you you can't contact someone because you don't have enough subscribers. Contact whoever you want.
Okay.
If they say no, they say no. That's okay.
Perseverance.
But if you don't contact them, you're not going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between not contacting them and them saying no? At least if you contact them, they might say yes.
What's your strategy when they just don't reply?
When they don't reply? When they don't reply, you look for an email address, or you look for a Facebook page, you look for another method of contact. Maybe they don't check that method.
So you send another message through another route. Yeah, I do that as well. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. Yeah, perseverance, man. That's exactly what I do. I actually have a spreadsheet, right? I do the email first, and if they didn't respond, then we go through the Twitter, and then we send another email, and then I know, you know what I mean? And then that's how it's done. That's pro, bro. That's how I like it. Yeah, all right. So, I guess that's good, man. Most effective stuff. Shared all your information. I think that's a good start right there, man. All right, KRTD Media, man. God bless. All right, good luck. All right.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests. So we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord, We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos. Make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot. And looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.